Happy Friday, everybody. Glenn Stein here. It is the 18th, I believe, right? Actually, I think it is 18th. Happy pre-Father's Day. And that's coming up in a couple of days. Hope everybody's doing well. 2021, lots of great things to talk about. Lots to talk about. It's amazing. This is probably the most interesting time to be either selling or buying. I think one of the things I hope that everybody does in my company here at Realty Executives in the Villages and Ocala is to maintain the calm. I've always taught be the calming influence in every transaction. I think it's really important. And, it's summertime, so it's easy for people to get, upset and aggravated. And it's easy to get greedy. It's easy to be upset because you lost in a multiple offer situation, which is going on around the country. One of the things, I was actually part of a mastermind group, coaches mastermind group recently, about 2 hours ago. And what we talked about the changes that we're seeing around the country. And one of the changes that we're seeing around the country is less offers on the table. In other words, going from 15, 18, 20 offers on the table to like 3 or 4 different offers on the table. So competing offers, yes, it's still a hot marketplace, but a little bit of a slight cooling down. And the overall consensus theory was, okay, the reason why it's cooling down is because guess what? The rest of the country, and this hasn't happened in Florida, but it actually happened in Florida months ago. I'm not going to get into debate as to whether what's right or wrong, but what we've seen is the rest of the country is opening up. So what happens is that everybody's going on vacation. In fact, they're coming to Florida in a lot of cases. Crazy busy. People are coming from other countries. People are coming from other states, and people here are going on vacation somewhere else, and people up north are going. People are just going on vacation. Period. It's summer. And people are feeling a lot safer because of the vaccine. Because of that, the rest of the country seems to be seeing less offers on the table. And so a little bit of a cooling off period for many people around the country. This market in particular, and I've had some conversations with other people within Florida, actually 2 people within Florida today in the Panhandle and in Southern Florida. We're actually in the central part. For those of you that are local, you know that. Just north of Orlando, the Villages, that's where we are. The Villages in Ocala, just north of Orlando. The market is still completely on fire and still a reduction in inventory. In fact, the 7-day numbers are 21 new properties on the marketplace. And for those that are watching, as you're looking at this, you know that there were times where we had 40, 50 properties per week, new properties coming on the market. And most recently, it's been in the mid-20s to 30s, and now 21 new properties on the marketplace. Not unusual for this time of year, but definitely unusual considering how many people are buying in the marketplace. So many more buyers in the marketplace than sellers. 68 went under contract. 68 different properties went under contract. 68 pendings. 21 for sale active. So that tells you a lot. That's still a 47 listing difference between 21 coming on the market and 68 that went off the market under contract. So that's what's really interesting about that. The other thing that is really fascinating is that literally there are, just in the search, 68 available properties on the market right now, and basically what that means is, we're seeing that's how many, we've got a 1-week supply of homes on the market. That's basically what we're seeing. We did see a little bit of a indication here is 2 things. One, we saw 6 properties come back on the market, which, I'm recommending to all of my people that are working with buyers. And if you're buying in our market, a little bit of a tip or a hack is look at the pending properties, and maybe you might have a chance of getting in there either with a backup contract, or you might be able to get in there if the deal falls apart. We saw 6 fall apart this week. In other words, did the inspection, didn't like it, they changed their minds, whatever. A lot of stories behind that. always getting the home inspection, of course, but 6 people backed out of deals. So that could be an opportunity if you're looking for that right home for you. That could be an opportunity. So have your realtor and your agent check into pending properties and connect with the pending listing agent. Also, we saw 10 price decreases. So we're seeing some of that back late last year. We saw a lot more price decreases and hardly any, first and second quarter this year. A little bit more this week, 10 price decreases, meaning people are testing the marketplace. We're seeing that. So if people are testing the marketplace, and by the way, we're advocating that if you're selling in this marketplace to really try to push the envelope a little bit because of the lack of inventory, makes a lot of sense. And you have to be reasonable, right? There's a reasonable ceiling to it. So prices obviously going up in all sectors because of the lack of inventory. And I do expect at some point it will temper down a little bit. I think we're going to see that. I think there's going to be a point where we are going to start seeing a little bit of a tempering, a little bit of cooling off, where if you're thinking about buying, you're going to see an opportunity just like the rest of the country is seeing. And I'll keep you abreast of that situation. We're going to have to look at the numbers every single week, right? That's going to be a real thing. So if you have questions about that, just call me 352-572-3796, 352-572-3796. So, the message of the week is a little bit of a cooling off period for people around the country, but not necessarily here in the villages or in Ocala. I'm also seeing something that I probably will talk about in depth in the coming weeks. Some people are saying, okay, foreclosures are going to be a thing. People are wondering about, housing bubble, housing crisis. Or things are going to burst and prices are going to plummet like they did in 2008. And there's no indication of that at all. Even in these areas around the country where we've seen a little bit of a cooling off, remember the numbers. Two things to pay attention to. And you could Google this, by the way, and do your own research. Don't take my own word for it. Don't take my word for it. Just take your own research and look into it deeper. Number one, look at how many millennials there are in the country, and look at how many millennials will be planning on buying over the next couple of years. And the stats, as I've talked about before, 72 million millennials, 70 to 75% of them are going to be buying or have bought, and we haven't capped out. So do that research. Also look at the numbers for new construction over the last 20 years and look at how little construction there was between like 2008 and 2018. In that time period, we've been picking up and trying to catch up, but there's so many people buying around the country and not enough inventory, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing. So that is definitely the real cause of the spike. Of course, COVID, people getting bored with their properties, people looking for space, wanting to move into a different area, lots of migration from different parts of the country for politics, for taxes, for environment, on and on and on. And guess what? Some people, they retired too. And that's why they're moving into our area. So lots of people looking for second homes. There's a lot of movement going around, but we're also starting to see what they're calling buyer fatigue. And that's becoming a thing around the country. So, we may see some of that. There might be a thing. We're not there yet, but it'll be interesting to see when that happens, as how much will inventory pick up. And it could be a great buying opportunity. Not that you're going to see steals, not that you're going to see foreclosures. That's not coming around the bend. I mean, we might see some foreclosures around the country and in Florida. But we're definitely not seeing a plummet. That's not what we're seeing here. In fact, it's a new norm in value. So those are the numbers. Let me give it to you again. I'm going to give you, actually, I might have misspoke on one of these numbers. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a revision here. So 21 new listings on the market last 7 days. No price increases, 10 price decreases. 6 properties back on the market, 68 sold. I believe I said 68 pending. So actually 68 sold, which is 68 closed. 68 closed properties last 7 days. This is for the villages. No expireds, 57 pendings. 57 is the number. And that's pretty much it. That's what we saw. No withdrawals, no cancels. Let me give you an idea of the temperature of and the tenor of the marketplace. Seeing people, still multiple offers. We're seeing on the upper ends of the price range, lots of pushing up on that. And also on the bottom, everything is moving up. Everything's rising in price. So, patio villas probably will have a hard time finding. There's only a handful under 250 right now, just to give you an idea. If you're looking for a golf course or something with a view and privacy, make sure you have an aggressive agent to find something for you, because they need to know how to navigate this marketplace so you win, because you're going to be faced with multiple offers for sure on that type of property. Questions, let me know. Lots to report on, lots of great things that are happening, but make sure you're with somebody that knows how to navigate the process. All right. Happy Friday. Happy Father's Day for all the dads out there.